for the supporters, but what did you gain from it as well?
Yeah, I probably should start with thanking our supporters, I reckon. It was a dead rubber today. It was a nothing game, almost. Freo bringing an inexperienced side over, and we had 39,000 people turn up again to us and roar and scream like they have all year, and we probably haven't given them exactly everything they want, but today, I mean, we couldn't be more proud of our member base and our fans, so I should start in that space and thank them very much for 2015 and hope that we can deliver a much better result for them in 2016. But to keep coming back, renew, let's make sure we stay number one and stay strong in South Australia.
It's difficult to assess the match because, you know, Fremantle have a weak inside, but did you learn anything new about your players in regard to your player list for next season?
Yeah, I thought we found out, particularly early in the game, that it doesn't matter about, we always say, coaches always say, it doesn't matter about personnel, it's the style you play. And, you know, we in the first quarter, they were able to hit the scoreboard on us. But we knew and identified straight away at quarter time what was missing a bit for us. And it was probably as much as anything was our aggression and our ability to compete and be fierce. We woke up, you know, and then we did what we should have done in that game. And, you know, in 3 quarters, we led 3 quarters 88 points, you know. It was significant, but that was the quality of both teams that were out there. We were a bit stronger than them today, but obviously we understand why.
You normally are pretty measured, but not at quarter time. Was that the message? Get aggressive, wake up?
Yep. Yeah, I got aggressive, and the boys certainly responded in the right way. So that's pleasing, I reckon, from my point of view, that I can get them to respond. The issue is why to quarter time for today, and you know, I can probably today more than any other day, I can probably sit back and probably have an understanding and appreciation as to why they were a bit down at the start of the game. Albeit, as I said, the stats were still quite favourable for us, but they were hitting the scoreboard, we weren't.
And it seems to actually thrive when there is a little bit of push and shove out there with your players. Is that a good thing?
Yep. It's a real good thing for us. Yeah. It's the way we have to play football. It's what the good teams play football like. You're on edge, you know. And particularly our last month, we've been able to play on edge, and we've done it with good composure. We haven't done it stupidly. We haven't given away lots of silly free kicks or anything like that. We've just understood that it takes us to be on the front foot to play our best footy.
And you guys and so many other teams can talk about team defence. Did you feel that was reflected in the footy today, getting numbers back and Shepherds and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we got our defence back in the last 6 or 7 weeks. Let's be honest. It's our numbers. Our numbers will be, if you went over that period of time, our numbers will say we're second or third or something in defence, you know, in points against. So our front half turnover today was massive. So some of the stuff we got right over the last 4 or 5 weeks. The answers and the questions are why then. I'm still looking at them myself.
And is there a bit more feeling of frustration in that room after the game, or was it sort of more relief that the season is over now and you can start building towards it?
No, there's admission, I reckon, in the room. There's admission to not doing what we set out to do at the start of the year. So we mark as a failure and a disappointing year, as David and Keith would say. It was a disappointing season for us on results on the footy ground, but there were some enormously positive results in other parts of the club. You know, as we talked about membership, we talked about corporate, and we talk about the exposure of some young players. Sam Gray, game today, you know. Last month, the footy, if anyone's announced themselves to the competition, I think Sam has.
What did you make of Johnny Butcher's game?
Yeah, it was exciting for everyone, wasn't it? We all sat back and had some fun with it, and we were looking at it, and John did too. That was what I was pleased about. John didn't let it cook him too much, because that's a difficult job for him. And he knows he had, I think, 9 or 10 score involvements for us. So that's a healthy return from a key forward, and his marking was good. His kicking was obviously his kicking, but I've said that week in, week out. That's in John's bag of stuff. It's going to be there. He's going to work really hard to keep improving it. And there'll come a day that he'll actually get it okay, I reckon. And that's what I said to him. He's never going to be. He knows he's not going to be the greatest kick in the world ever, but he'll become a safer kick. And people say, "Oh, it's taken a long time. He hasn't got that." Well, he's not giving up, and we're not giving up. So that's the key ingredient, I reckon.
It sounds like you're very certain that he'll be there next year.
No, they're not questions I really want to entertain this afternoon. Sorry, the list management stuff. I think we should reflect on the season and reflect on what some of the good things of the season, some individuals. The pleasing part that I will reflect on is that John showed in the last month that it means a lot to him to play for Port Adelaide.
He's got everything apart from that kicking, right?
So he hasn't got everything.
No, well, it's everything else, I should say.
Yeah, that's...
The fundamentals of that kicking, though, I mean, do you just sort of work with what he's got and try and get the best out of it?
I look at it, and he does too. We look at it every week, and we're always tinkering, and we're always trying to help him get to the point he needs to. But his biggest battle is neck up, and he knows that, and he's working on it. That's what I say. He hasn't given up on the work. And that's what he should be proud of, that he's prepared to keep working at it. And I question anyone in this room to deal with the pressure that John Butcher has to deal with and be able to respond too much better than he has. He's a professional footballer, though, and he's got to learn to deal with it.
It is intense pressure, you see it every single time he gets the ball, but that must be the pleasing thing for you, that he sort of seemed to embrace it today and have fun with it. What
about the reaction of his teammates when he kicked the goal? They love him. That's pretty special, I reckon, and they want him to do well. We've spent a lot of time on John. I just hope he continues to be able to play good football.
That passion was in all the boys' eyes today, though, wasn't it? You know, given he said there wasn't anything on the end of it, they were quite spirited.
Yeah, an outstanding group. I'm not going to, 12 and 10 is not an acceptable season, but I'm not going to sit here and pot my football team or my football club. I'm going to say that they're amazing people, great characters, and fantastic people to work with. And they'll continue to work, and they won't give up on what they're trying to achieve. And we said today we're in pursuit of mastery, is what we talked about. We want to master this game, and we're going after that, and we're not going to stop until we get there.
You mentioned Sam Gray before. What have you learned from him? I mean, because he's been a superstar at, say, Sanford level for a number of years, but the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks where he's been a superstar at AFL level, what have you learned in that time?
He's a midfielder.
Like a genuine...
a genuine midfielder, I reckon. We worry about size sometimes. We shouldn't worry about size if you've got footy smarts and you've got some grunt. Sam's got a lot of grunt, and he's got an enormous amount of footy smarts, and playing where he belongs. That's what we learnt. Not everyone ends up that way. Some people, as we all often see, a defender will end up a forward will end up at a defender, and some people can play at a different position at a lower level and come up and be able to make it in. But Sam shows that he's a midfielder, and we have to respect that. We've been given enough information and we've been given enough evidence.
Do you think, you're not playing finals, but do you think the footy that you're playing could actually do some damage in the finals?
It's a waste of my breath, isn't it? Sorry.
You had a good month and you closed the season up well, but can you actually take that into next year, or does it all start again?
Yeah, as I said, we reflect on this year today and we say, well, that's the challenge. That's what we've got to do. We've got to face up to the challenge again, and we've got to be prepared to do what as I said, we've done in the back 6 out of 7, the last 6 out of 7 games. We've been able to win, but it doesn't count. 2013, I said, when people kept telling us we're going to play finals, we'll get what we deserve. And I'll say it again today. We have got what we deserve, and we finished 9th.
You don't want to talk specifics about list management this time, but can you sort of shed a bit of light in terms of the timing of when that sort of stuff unfolds over the next, month or 2 or whenever?
Oh, well, some of the stuff is more difficult when you talk about trade times and all those sorts of things. That they don't start for quite some time. So we'll have some. Typically, our football club will have exit interviews for our players who won't be playing Magpies early this week, and anyone who is going to get any difficult news there would get that then. And those who are still playing will have those conversations when they're finished, and rightly so. Our footy club's still playing, we're still competing, we're going out to win the SANFL, we're going out with the Magpies to be premiers this year, and that's what we're going to try and do.
And do you fancy any side to win the play?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me too much, but I'll end up going around the 4 top sides and I'll say I'll probably Hawthorn, but I don't know. I still say it's September footy, it's not August or any other time. It's September footy, the best team in September, and that's the challenge. Who's going to be the best team in September? Who's got the courage to be 4 weeks of unbelievably tough football? And that is the challenge. And right now, always has been, always probably will be, the top 4 are the best position to do that. I'll give you my answers. I think Hawthorn have still probably got the weapons.
What about in October?
In October this year, isn't it? Maybe that's what's happened. I didn't want to be around in October. The boys didn't want it. It's going to be an exciting final series, though. That's the sad part. I'm a bit envious. I sit back and watch all the stuff that's on the television in the last week, advertising finals and Rudimental's playing. That's our song. That's our song. You can't use that AFL. Put that away. That's a Port Adelaide song. It just hurts a bit more when I hear it, because that's our boys going out to play. That's our boys never giving in, and that's what we'll come back and do. We'll never give in again.
Have you got someone in mind to replace Patrick?
No. Not. I mean, we only found out 3 days. What day is today? Saturday, Thursday. So I found out Thursday. So no, not at all. But you're always viewing all that stuff. But now that our season's finished, we'll go through all that stuff and we'll view all the options. We'll view all the possibilities and whatever other changes are needed to be made. But they'll come with a bit of calmness. Enjoy. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Appreciate it.